Hi everyone, how you doing? This is Jen Ballou. I hope everyone's well. It's been a while since I have popped in here and just done, a face-to-face video. So first, before I move deeper, I just wanted to share that I have created a 5-day challenge called Healing Our Wounds to Family, where we dig really deeply into our core wounds and begin to release out where we are holding on to our wounding that keeps us disconnected from living our life by design, or from living our true life, or the life that we're desiring to create for ourselves, right? And the families we're wishing to create, the families we're wishing to be within. And this is beneficial for everyone. We all could move deeper into some of these wounds we carry in order to heal them, to release the emotional charge that may still be within our energy field, within our physical body, within our nervous system, and to experience more resiliency within our life, within our daily existence, right? Within our experiences. And this challenge will occur over 5 days. It's free. So I want to invite all of you who are able to join and sign up by November 1st to do so. The link is below. Just need your name and your email address, and then you will receive all of the information on where to go, the course materials, the attunements, the journal prompts, the meditation prompts, etc. And it's something that these tools are something that you can continue to use. So I hope some of you will join me there. This is a huge wealth of content to support you guys on your journey. So please do so. I also have an email subscription service where I email out my attunements that I create, and various things like that. So I hope everyone is doing well. So what do I want to come in here and talk about? We could talk a little bit about the current energies, I guess. We're heading into the election here. And it is such a potent time to shift out of, right, that old system and to connect into this new reality that we are birthing into being. This ability to step up, to step into, to create change through our own process, right? As we move into our wounds, as we move into some of these spaces that have not seen the light, and we bring the light in, and we bring the love in, and bring in, and this is not light and love, this is light. This is true love. This is unconditional love. Right? This just is, right? This just is. It's not something that we need to create, because it already is. It is simply peeling back those layers that keep us out of that unconditional love, right? Of self, and being able to hold that space with others, that unconditional loving space, right? But in order to truly hold that space, one must peel back the layers and arrive to that space of understanding and of holding that full capacity for true unconditional love. And that means being aware of what truly is and existing within that space. Now, what I see everywhere is this running away, this trying to hide, this denial, this staying in these lower vibrational realities and not expanding out into these greater awarenesses. this within various circles. I can tell you this much, that Trump is not going to win. Not on my watch. Hell to the no. So I'm just putting that out there. And I hope all of you will be joining me who are able to vote, to step into that space and to create the change, to support the change, to move forward with the change. I'm not going to hide behind anything, and I'm definitely not going to sit here saying that Trump's going to win, because there's just no way. We have become too strong in order to allow that reality to ever manifest itself. Ever. The toxic masculinity, the submissive, toxic femininity, no, that's got to go. Right? We empower ourselves. We step into our true and authentic nature, and we say, no more. No, no, no. No more complacency. No more denial. No more detraction. No more this, that, this. No. We arrive. Right? We arrive. And there will be many that will have a very difficult time adjusting to this, because they are holding on so tightly. So tightly. It's time to release out of that and to move into, to transition out of and transition into this movement forward. Right? This abolishment of the old system that is in place, the toxicity, the woundedness, the victimhood, the false light, the ridiculous fallacy of this being in this, oh, well, it looks this way to be in light and love. No, it looks this way to be in light and love. This constant gaslighting from people who feel that they're superior when they are not. Those that uphold that old system. So that will be collapsing out. Yay! I can't wait. I cannot wait. Oh, such a heavy energy that will be lifting out. So I'm really excited about that. What we will be anchoring and grounding in is this new potential of beingness. I am focusing on family at this time. That's what I felt called to do. I'm a birth doula. I'm a postpartum doula. I help people have babies. And I help them know what they need to know in order to empower themselves and in order to make the right choices for themselves, right? To recognize the reality of the systems that we live in and to make the best choices for themselves based on that reality. And so I will be hosting this 5-day challenge of healing our wounds to family, where we move deep into these abandonment wounds, deep into these wounds of rejection, deep into these wounds of betrayal, deep into these wounds of abuse, where we have been on either side of the program, you could say, or however it has run through us, right? However it has run through us. So what is abandonment programming looks like? It looks like when we make choices because we are in fear, we are dependent, we don't want to face reality. We may do everything in our power in order to keep ourselves from feeling that pain, that wound of abandonment, that we are intended to release out of our existence, out of our bodies, out of our mental structures, out of our emotional spaces and our spiritual practices, our belief systems, right? We move that out because everything is simply a piece or a part of where we have felt abandoned, or where we have experienced abandonment, or where we do not want to feel that abandonment or feel that feeling, right? And it can also play itself out where on the other end, the other person's abandonment, right? And so when we have fully healed ourselves and we are whole and complete within ourselves, and we're not carrying these wounds, and we're not continuing these programs of abandonment, wounding, right? Then we are truly able to manifest this new reality. But it is up to each of us individually first in order to create that collective change, right? It's not just about telling the other person that they have to heal themselves, or telling the other person, well, that's not very nice, or that's not very compassionate. That's not what we're looking for. That is simply a superior stance, and it's something that we also want to release out. So this, so how would abandonment programming look like? I'll give you an example myself. So of a space that I've referenced very often in order to understand. 7 years ago, right around this time, I was gearing up to move from my home in Washington, D.C. out to Southern California. And I had all this stuff that was playing itself out within my first marriage. I had all these wounds that were playing themselves out, all this stuff, right? And it was just a toxic mess. And I knew it couldn't go on like that. Right? I knew that. And yet, right, I was afraid. How can I do this on my own? Right? How can I do this on my own? I don't know if I can do this on my own, right? I don't know if I can do this on my own. And yet I knew, again, it had to change. It had to end. And at the time, it had come to the point where we had to make decisions, right? We had to make decisions about moving. What did that look like? What were we going to do? And my ex-husband was, he just wouldn't engage. He wouldn't engage with it. He was abandoning me. All these things, all these choices, all these decisions that had to be made, he wasn't there. He wasn't there. And this was a recurring theme within our relationship. And what I had noticed, what I had come to the realization of, is my pattern in this situation would be to please him, to do everything in my power to placate him, to allow him to essentially have power and control in that situation. That is how my abandonment programming played itself out, right? I would do everything to attempt that reconnection, right? That space of keeping the peace, right? What do I have to do in order to get him to engage? What do I have to do in order to make him happy? Because I didn't want to abandon him. But that wasn't my responsibility. My responsibility was to myself in that situation. My responsibility was to my son in that situation. My ex-husband was abandoning me. He refused to be present within that experience, within that dynamic, within that shift. And in that moment, I released it. I let it go. But until you fully heal that part of yourself, you are simply going to continue to engage in those dynamics that keep you from truly feeling that wound. My ex-husband abandoned me. And I can't tell you how many love and light things I said to myself, I said to others. I didn't want to admit the fact that he was continuously abandoning us. Right? That was what was happening. That was what was happening. Oh, well, it was for the best. I knew it was going to end, and all these other things, right, that were also playing themselves out at the same time, and yet we're not at the root of what was happening, right? How I was being triggered, how I was being abandoned, how my son was being abandoned, how we were being abandoned, how we were being rejected, how we, right? I wasn't going to play to my ex-husband's wounds, play to my ex-husband's victimhood, right? Because what it was, in the end, was I held that wound within myself. I held that program within myself. And he held this power and control and this domination within that space, right? That was his game. That was how he retained the power, the control, right, over me. And I will never forget that moment when he said to me, and he said, don't worry about me, just, worry about you and Miles. And I thought to myself, okay, there's that. I'm not going to keep this cycle going anymore. I'm not going to keep this pain, this suffering, this torture. It was torture, right? And yet that is what he wanted. He wanted me to chase after him. He wanted me to placate him because of his woundedness. He wanted me to step out of my forward movement, and in order to emotionally play into that pattern or that program. Because after that, right, he would get, right, that would be his, like, reset point. That would be his reset point. And all that was trauma bonding. All that was trauma bonding, right? He hurts me. What do? I take care of him. He hurts our son. What do? I took care of him. Long enough, right? I wasn't going to take care of him anymore. I was going to take care of us. That's where my energy should be going, right? To take care of us. And that is how you heal your abandonment wounds. It's not about the other, right? It's about you. And yet, saying that is much more simple than the actual reality of living it and having to dig in so deeply into these patterns that have just replayed themselves over and over and over and over again in a million different dimensions, in a million different timelines, in a million different ways. The power and control system, and you got your wounding, right? You got these aspects. So how do you empower yourself? How do you come into your sovereign being? You heal your wounds. You release out of those old programs. You become whole and complete within yourself. No more codependency, no more toxicity, no more abuse, no more rejection. Why? Because you're taking care of yourself. And you are in your power. So that is the importance of digging into these spaces, no matter how uncomfortable it is, to feel into that space, to feel that pain, to feel that, feel through that experience fully, wholly, and completely. And to release out of any distortion that you are carrying within yourself, within your mind, within your body, within your emotional being, within your spiritual, energetic reality. All parts, all pieces, whole and complete. So what are some of the other benefits that you'll receive after this challenge? You'll have a practice. You'll have some support. You'll have an idea about those next steps forward. You will get group support. I will have a Facebook open for 2 weeks. You also have a membership portal to review all the material on your own if you don't feel comfortable in the group setting. I also am opening up a WhatsApp group where we will do evening rituals during the 5 days. So all connecting in to this energy field that we are creating for ourselves, and all right, attuning to this and moving deeper into these spaces and feeling that release. So I really hope some of you will join me. Some of the other benefits, I know I didn't go very deep into, you're going to feel lighter. You will have a deeper sense of purpose. You will experience a deeper sense of purpose. You will experience the ability to understand self-healing on a deeper level, understand how things connect to your spiritual body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your physical body, and your reality, your physical reality. We'll begin to clear all of that out, and that in and of itself will create space for this new that we're bringing in, right? This new family, this new life, this new way of being for ourselves. This new way of being for ourselves, individually and in the greater sense as well. Less triggers. Really moving through your triggers and healing the triggers, right? So you will where you used to experience triggers, you will just move through it much quicker, right? There won't be that reaction or that I always, that raw feeling, right? That really raw feeling when something's like, it reminds me, because I experience these triggers almost like a disorientation. I get disoriented. I get shaky in the body. Like I just start shaking when I experience some of these energies, right, that want to come in and kind of take you off your path and get you to go back into the old system and all that different kind of stuff. That the ones that trigger, right, the ones that trigger the wound, the program, right. And the goal here is not to, yes, we want to end that program, but that's not going to happen, right? It's about us individually being able to handle those triggers, right? To move through those triggers in a much more empowered way, using our voice, using our spirit, using our emotional being, well regulated, resilient, empowered, impassioned, cognitive abilities online, on par, knowing how to share, to connect, to be within one's own everything. It's so funny, I get the words better sleep Okay, so better sleep. The goal here is to really connect you into your own rhythm, your own flow, right? Your own ability to create and manifest for yourself. That's the goal. And I'm creating the container for that. Your own flow, your own ease, right? Your own natural and organic way of being. Not through this construct of what we think or how we are supposed to be, the ego construct, you could say, but beyond even just the ego. This is just, this is releasing out of that, that old body construct. And this is freeing oneself fully, wholly, and completely of all that conditioning that we've experienced. Finding your voice, finding your space, finding your power, finding everything that you need within you, and building that, and nurturing that, and continuing that, constantly and consistently moving forward. So I hope some of you will all join me in that. Again, you will be receiving free attunement, really, really deep healing work over 5 days. And then we will be transitioning into healing our original wounds, our mother wounds. We're going to go into the mother wound, our core wound, our deepest space of woundedness, to root that out, whatever has festered in there, to heal it fully, right? To open it in order to allow it to heal, to work through it. And through that process, anchoring and grounding in the new that we are creating moving forward. So I hope to see some of you there. Please sign up below, and until next time, toodaloo.